basically the immutability. We don't have that option in the tuple. So let's understand how to construct a tuple and tuple methods, and we'll also see that whether we'll be able to edit this or not, and we'll also understand when to use the tuples. All right. So here, as you can see, it is inside the parenthesis, and I'm just assigning 1, 2, 3 to a variable t, right? Then I execute, and if you want to check whether it's a tuple or a list, so what we can do is just type a type and the particular variable, and it will show you that what type of data it is, whether it's a tuple or a list or a dictionary. We'll talk about a dictionary in the upcoming video. So this is how I will be able to check. So will I be able to convert that into a list? Yes, I will be able to convert tuples into a list, right? So I will keep this tuple inside the parenthesis and I will just say list, right? So the result of data will be stored in this particular variable. And when you execute and you print the variable, you will see that it is a list. If you print same thing here, okay, t, you will see that inside the parenthesis. But you converted that tuple into a list and stored in this variable 1, so it is changed to a list. All right. So will I be able to convert a list into a tuple? Right now variable is a, let's say that type var1. Now you see this, it converted to list. Will I be able to convert list into a tuple? So what I am saying here, var1, which is a list right now, and I'm saying a tuple, right? So if I execute, yes, I will be able to convert list into a tuple. So I can do both, tuple to list, list to tuple, right? Both are possible. All right. So now what is the length of the t? T is what right now? T is basically 1, 2, 3. How many data points we have? So that I can check using a length function. Yes, it is having a 3 elements inside the tuple. And also let's check whether it is going to take different data types. This is a string. This is a integer. Let me convert this into a float. All right. So this is a float point, this is an integer, and this is a string. And I'm assigning it to t and I'm printing it. Yes, it will take all types of data as well. And will I be able to access a data inside the tuple, just like what we did in the list? Yes, I will be able to do that as well, right? Almost all the properties are same like a list, except that mutability. This is not a editable, this is just a slicing that I can do, right? So similarly, slicing is just like a list. Here I'm giving a -2, right? And what is this -2? We have never seen this kind of a data, right? Even though we have sliced data in the list during that list explanation. So what is this -2? So Python also has this option. Suppose say this is a data, right? 1, 2, 3, 3. So if I go in this direction, the index of this is 1. So one index is basically here, it's a 0, and this is a 1, and this is a 2, right? That is how we can interpret. But if I want to come from backside, this direction, so this will be assigned with -1, this will be -2, and this will be -3. And why do we need to understand this? Suppose say you have so many data points, so many elements, which you cannot count it, right? Somewhere it is here, and In order to get the index, you have to keep going through all the way till this point. So if I want to understand this last data point, so instead of going in this direction, directly I can give a -1, assuming this is a last data. So if I give a -1, I will get directly last element. And this is -1, and the last but one is basically -2, -3, minus, minus, minus. So that way also I will be able to access the data. So that is what I'm trying to do here, right? In this case, -1, and this is -2. All right. So data 2 will be fetched, right? So this is -1 and this is -2, right? If I say -1, yes, 3.3 will be fetched. That's how it is going to work here, all right? So yes, and some of the methods we can see. So T is what? T is a tuple. It is in the parenthesis. And if I want to know the index, right? So say that, let's say, assume we have a data, thousands of data, thousands, 10,000s maybe, right? And these are all employee IDs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and da, 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 da. And I have a 10,000, something like this. Now there is some data 565. Just for the sake of understanding, so I just pick some number. Now I don't know what is the index for this, right? In between we have so many data, and so if I want to find the index, so I have to keep checking what is this, everything, right? So what if I use this exact data and find the index, right? So yes, that I can do. So what I can do, T dot index, index of what? 1, right? So that 1 I can mention here, and I will be able to get a index of that. And we know the index for this ONE is a 0, and we will be able to get that. All right. So that's how I can do. So here, let me keep this to how many counts of this data 2 is having, right? So we have only 1, 2. If we have multiple 2's, so it will give the count also. How many 2's available or how many 2's present in the tuple. That also I can do. All right. Same thing we can do in the list as well. Here also we can do. All right. There are some methods, and let's move on. And now I want to access this 0 and wanted to change, right? So I want to replace this 1 with a change. Is it going to happen? No, because we have understood it is a immutability, right? It is a immutable, will not be able to do any changes. Let's see that whether we'll be able to append it. T dot append, and I'm saying some data, right? So no, still I'm not able to do any kind of operation. And how one can understand what are all the methods available, right? I will say T dot. You see this a pop up. See, there's a drop down list. What you can say. So where you will find only 2 methods, count and index. Only 2 methods available in the tuple. But if I go back all the way here, and we have converted this var into a list, converted tuple into list and stored in this var1, which is a list. Now, if I check, so var1, how many methods available? I'll just press dot here. You see here so many methods available, right? Append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort. So these many methods available in the list, but these methods are not available in the tuple. Now we can see that, what is the how big is the change. So yeah, it is immutable, but still I will not be able to get so many methods if I have a data in the tuples. And when we should use it. Suppose say you do not want anyone to update the data like uh, their salary, right? So employee salary. So it's not the real time case, but I'm just trying to give an idea that so when we can use a tuple because list is having a lot of options, we can edit. But what we have a salary. Suppose say your salary is visible in your system, right? Suppose say 25,000, right? This is your salary. HR can show your salary to you, right? But will you be able to edit it? No, right? So this kind of a data, which is a very security kind of a data, if it's data that cannot be edited, in that case, that kind of a data I can store in a tuple where no one can edit it, right? So that's how you can interpret these tuples. We have advanced techniques to deal this such type of a data. But yeah, just for the interpretation, you can assume that the data which you cannot change, those data can be kept in the tuple. All right. So if I say dictionary, so the first thing is basically the data will be inside the curly brackets, right? That is first thing. And the second thing is basically it will have a data with the keys, right? So let's say that in the tuple or a list, what we used to do, we used to assign a data something like a 1, 2, 5, 20, 30, things like that, right? But we don't know exactly what these data are, right? A random numbers. So if I want to interpret something, so what is this list about? I don't have any idea, right? So maybe I can also write something like this, salary equal to some data 20K, 30K, 50K. But if I want to visualize the data, like a salary is one part, employee is one part, employee number, right? So I will have a number 111 and 212, something like this, right? So this is basically individually we are trying to assign. And when I want to visualize this, I want to compare which employee is having how much salary and all. It is difficult to compare, right? So that's where this dictionary concept comes into a picture, where I can define the salary and employee in the dictionary and I can assign the associated values. Like here I can say salary, right? And I can give all this data here, right? And again, comma, employee, and I can assign all this data over here, right? So that I can print something like this, salary, employee. Here I will have a salary, here I will have a employee numbers, right? So it is easy to associate between employee and the salary. I can do easy comparison, right? If I want to see the data something like this, so then I can go ahead with the dictionaries, right? So that is the idea here. So what we call this guy is basically key and the data are basically values. And together keys and the values, I will call it as a items. All right. So, okay, let's begin and see that how we can construct a dictionary and the data inside the dictionary, how we can assign and things like that. All right. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So how do I create a dictionary here? Right. So this is basically a dictionary, my dictionary. And here, as you can see, this is the key. This is how I can mention key and all are in a curly brackets, as you can see. And this key is having a value, right? So value 1 and comma. a next key, and these are all the associated data, right? How I can associate it, how I can link that with this colon. And the keys differentiated will be differentiated based on the comma. All right, key 1 and this is a key 2. I can give any name. I can give any name here. I can keep any data here. I can keep any data here. There is no restriction. All right, let's execute and see. So yes, now I'm going to print the dictionary. You can see this keys and respective values. All right. So going forward in the pandas and all, basically we use this dictionary and it will create a beautiful table, right? So something like this. Let me give you key 1 and key 2. Here I will have all the data and here I will have all the data. Just like employee and salary, I have put that. Similarly, you can visualize data like this, right? So that's how basically you can interpret. You can also say that it is a kind of a column name, you can say, right? All right. Now, again, if I want to access the values of a key 2, right? So the same concept, what we have discussed in the lists and the tuples, how to access the data. So here what I will do, my dictionary, and I will access only key 2. So this is how I can mention dictionary and the respective keys. It will bring the only values related to key 2, as you can see here. Right now, I can define something like this: key 1 and the value, key 2 and the values. If you have a multiple data, you can pass as a list, comma, key 3, and you can pass any type of a data. If you have more than one, you pass it as a list, right? So that's how you can pass the data. My dictionary, and now I want to access data, particular data from key 3. So in this key 3, I want the first index data. This is again same kind of a concept. So here what it does, again here it will be assigned as a 0 index, first index and the second index. So here what I'm saying, in the dictionary you select key 3 and within that you select the index 1, right? So if you want to fetch this data, right? Okay, as you can see, it is successfully grabbing this particular data. All right. Now again, you can do -2 also, the same thing, the other way. This is going to be -1, this is going to be -2, or different ways. Okay, in this case, I am selecting a key 2, not key 3. So key 2 I am calling, and -2 is basically, this is -1 from backward direction, and this is -2. As you can see, number 23. All right. Now, what and all operations I can do? I can fetch the data and convert that into uppercase. So in this case, in a key 3, in the key 3, I'm selecting the 0th index, that is nothing but item 0. And when I fetch that, I will convert that into uppercase, item 0, right? And yeah, same as usual procedure. I want to access key 1. Key 1 is having only one data, so I don't need to give an index here. All right. So now if I want to do any kind of operation and save the data within the particular key, so here what I'm doing, I'm selecting this particular dictionary, and in that I'm selecting this key 1. So this will have what? This is having a 1, 2, 3, right? So right now it is having a 1, 2, 3 after selecting, and I'm saying -1, 2, 3. So if I execute, the result of this operation will be stored in the key 1. And if I check that, now it becomes a 0, right? So my dictionary key 1 is having a 0 data. If I use the same key 1 from the same dictionary and I try to add a 200, so it will be added to 0. 200 plus 0 and the result will be stored again in the key 1. That also I can do. And if I check that, yes, it is 200. Is there any other method that I can add data and reduce this code? Yes. What I can do, I can select this and here I can say plus equal to, right? Plus equal to, it means that it is exactly nothing but this plus only, right? So exactly this code replaces this code, except this number, obviously, right? It's plus equal to, it means that we use this to update the any item here. I would say any key. So 200 means it will be added to this particular item only, right? Key 1 is basically a key. There I'm saying that right now it is having a 200 value. I'm saying that add 123 to this data only. It will first take this data. On top of that, it will add 1, 2, 3. So same thing I can do for a minus as well. So here I can reduce some amount of coding here. All right. So let's execute this and see. So 1, 2, 3, and you can see 200 plus 1, 2, 3 is basically 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. Sorry. All right. And how to create an empty dictionary. So just like a tuple and list, I can create an empty dictionary, just a curly brackets, right? When you print it, it is just empty. All right. Now, if I want to create a new key here, right? Brand new key and the data. So I can say, select this dictionary and you can have a square bracket and you can say values associated with this. All right. Let's execute and see this. I have created this new column, right? I would say new key, and I'm also passing the data here. Okay, let me execute. Yes, one key is created. I can create multiple keys also on the same dictionary. This is one more key, and I'm passing this data, right? So execute, and finally, I want to see this D dictionary. You can see that keys and values, keys and values. The string will be always inside the quotes. All right. So fine, this how we can create a dictionary and create a keys and pass the values and things like that. Now let's see, there is something called nesting with the dictionary, right? So very simple. So I have a keys. So colon, I am expecting a value, but I'm creating a one more keys. And again, still I'm expecting a data, but I created one more key, right? Dictionary inside the dictionary. As you can see here, this is the first dictionary and one more curly brackets and one more curly brackets. Dictionary within the dictionary is obviously nesting with the dictionary, nested dictionaries, all right? So I can do that also and I can print that. So you may ask that when we'll use this kind of a situation, right? So you can interpret this way. You have a college name, and the department name, maybe mechanical department, computer science department, anything. And in that you can select a section, right? Computer department and a section A, section B, things like that. And within that you can have a students numbers, students roll numbers. That's how you can interpret. All right, however you want to interpret, so you can interpret, but I'm just trying to give one idea. All right, so fine. This is just like you can think about this, what the data will be fetched here. by writing something like this. All right. So fine. Now let's see some more methods here. So here I have a keys and keys 1, 2, 3 and respective values. So if I want to check only the key, right? How many keys I have in the dictionary? So I can just mention the dictionary dot keys, right? KEYS and parenthesis. It will give only keys. Dictionary keys, as you can see, key 1, key 2, and key 3, just like this, without any values. What if I want to access only values? Yes, you can have a dot values method. And I print it and it will give 1, 2, 3. But if you want both keys and values, yes, you can call it as a dot items method, right? So you can see keys 1, keys 2, and keys 3, right? All right. So don't worry about what is written here. So return both keys and values. Okay. Fine. Dictionary comprehensions. So I will first define a range here, right? Range function. This will grab 0 to 19. And here I'm reading that using a for loop. And each data will be one by one will be passed here. And the same data will be in the X and it will square it, right? Let's execute this. As you can see, this is how you can interpret. Like, I'll just give a small example. So when I say range 20, it will give me something like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 19, right? Since it is in a for loop, for every X, first time it will grab 0 and pass this X over here and pass this X over here. This X is 0 and here it will be squared. Next time it will grab 1, 1 will be here and 1 square, you can see. Then 2, 2, and this is a 2 square. Same thing, it will fetch 1 by 1 and here it will square and the value of that data which is getting squared. That's how you can interpret. All right. Yes, that's all in this video. It's about a dictionary. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Keep learning. Thank you.